And we're back. Thanks for joining us on the no stop recording. So before the break, we were talking about Richard Koo's warning that if the casino bettors come back and start to borrow money too fast, there could be a problem. So let's talk about that because I think it's really important. I want to talk about this idea of velocity of money. So we talked about it earlier, but I want to kind of bring it into our casino analogy because it makes a lot of sense, right? So if you think about the velocity of money, I want you to think about the number of times each chip exchanges hands at the casino floor, right? So if you think all the way back to September of 2008, before Lehman Brothers crashed, the velocity of M1 velocity of money was over 10, okay? If you were to pull that same chart up right now, it's under 1.5 and falling. And so what does that mean? We talked about this before. Because it's an indicator to people that they're scared and they're not spending this money. If that money was being freely spent, it would be bouncing around the casino. Now, that's what I want to talk about the casino because it's a perfect replica of an economy, right? It's got the service sector, right? It's got the hotel. It's got the shows, right? It's got the food. It's got the valets, right? It's a perfect economy, but what's the real reality? None of that economy works unless people are betting on the floor, right? People don't just go to a casino to eat food and drink and have fun, right? They're there to gamble, and those businesses are built around the gamblers that are there to gamble, right? And so this idea that the velocity of money is a big indication that money is not moving through the economy like it should be. Now, why could that be? Why would that be? There's tons of chips on the floor. Why aren't they making a difference, right? And so this idea of the marginal propensity to consume, right? If we gave Warren Buffett a whole bunch of chips, how much would it move the needle, right? Warren Buffett's a great guy, but the folk that, if we gave Jeff Bezos, right? If we gave Jeff Bezos the chips, how much would they bounce around the economy? Probably less than if you gave a mother of 3 children the same amount of money, right? And I'm not saying this is not a political thing. This is about velocity of money as an indicator for the economy, right? And so at one, every dollar that's borrowed only touches one hands before it goes back to the bank in an interest payment. And it never touches the economy ever again. That's a very big problem. So the Fed and everybody should be looking at this idea of velocity of money, right? When the velocity of money can start to level out and start to kick up, that's when you'll see the Fed have to start to draw money off the casino floor. And so usually, and this is the thing that's really important for them, is they like to do it before you're ready to start borrowing. They start to kind of pull back on the money to make sure, hey, we don't want to have to raise rates if everybody shows up to borrow at the same time, right? And so velocity of money is the indicator that I'm looking at to let me know when borrowers are ready to what? Take some of those chips out of their pocket and bet them, right? I mean, that's what we're looking to do here. So I think it's very important now to put this whole thing together because if you think now very carefully, right, the casino boss is not the casino owner, right? So let's separate those two things right away, right? I like to say the Federal Reserve is casino boss, right? The casino owner is right now Joe Biden and the Treasury, right? And they have to work together. They're the only two that know, hey, we're a couple chips short here on the count. We were in the back of the count room and we're a couple chips short, right? And so to keep the entire economy going, right? The hotel, the restaurant, the spa, they need to what? Do whatever they need to do to get everyone to spend 1,000 chips at the casino, right? And if that means they're going to comp out more chips, then you're going to see that. If that means they're going to give you free room and board, right? You're going to see that. If that means lowering the rate to borrow chips to gamble with to 0 or lower, they're going to do that. You've already seen that they've put this helicopter money in the form of free chips into the casino floor that they're not expecting back, right? And it's because they have no other choice, because in the back they're seeing the dashboard says velocity of money falling through the floor. People saving money like crazy. Nobody borrowing any new money. We're already at the 0 lower bound, right? The Fed really can't do anything unless they can convince you to borrow and spend money by lowering rates. And if they wanted to stop you from borrowing and spending, what would they do? They click rates up a little bit, right? And some people would say, you know what, that rate's too high, I'm not going to borrow as much. So that's what they use to calibrate the amount of chips on the casino floor. And it's broken because they can't get anybody to borrow new chips, right? So this is the essence of balance sheet recession, and that's why I'm so excited to talk about it. We're out of time for today, but next week we're going to have a great episode. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve's effects of tapering on emerging markets. Great episode. We're going to talk about Gita Gopinath and our international price system and how it all relates to these international markets, emerging markets, and especially what's going on in some of the currencies of those emerging market countries. Thank you for joining me again. My name is Alejandro Reyes. You can find my book, The Interest of Time, A Great Balance Sheet Recession, at theinterestoftime.com. My name is Alejandro Reyes. Thanks for joining me again on the Interest of Time podcast. Mo Money, Mo Problems. Thanks again.